What's up, y'all? Welcome to Sensibly Cynical. Today, I am set to be joined by Zondo. He is the lead singer of the band Scarlet. These guys are out of the Midwest. This was an awesome conversation, and I know for a fact that you will enjoy this one. Ladies and gentlemen, Zondo. And joining me now, the lead singer out of the band Scarlet, Zondo. What's going on, buddy?
Yo, how's it going?
It's going good. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so first off, where you guys like based? How did you guys get started?
We're based out of Wisconsin. Scarlet started, I don't even remember the year, but I just graduated college, so it was 2019, so I'm bad at math. Since 2019, it's been going on, and it's just been a ride ever since. We're still on the ride, you know.
Mm-hmm. I feel like music's a never-ending ride.
No, I mean, I guess it really depends on what your goals are. Like, if you're happy just playing in your town or, not really leaving, then I guess, the ride's not over, but it depends where you're trying to go. The bigger the goal, the longer the ride's going to
Talk about the beginnings of the band, how it got created, all that.
Man, I gotta go back to that. Let's see. Well, I felt like there was a big, in Wisconsin, it doesn't really seem like there's too many, original bands. Like, the original scene isn't really that big. Mostly cover bands, and anybody will back me up on that that's from Wisconsin or has tried to do music here. But, I don't know, I just kind of saw that as, an opportunity in the market to, if there aren't that many original bands, well, then you don't really have too much to go against,
Mm-hmm.
So, we played our first show. Our first show paid us $50. And it was at some hole in the wall, and back in my hometown. But I had a deal with them. I told them hey, I'm starting up this band. We need shows. We need exposure. So what was it? It was pay us $300 total for 6 shows. So each time they'd get $50, but we got a guaranteed 6 shows.
Right.
I think that right when you're starting off, I think exposure is a lot, and just getting used to being on stage and figuring out what works and what doesn't. And it also gives the bandmates something to look forward to, you're not just practicing in the basement forever. You got something to work towards.
Your debut album was Split from Reality, right? So I know you just said you were making, not too much to start. So how was it getting traction up there?
So the album came out in June of 2019, and I had written it when I was 21. So I recorded it when I was 21, and we went to Sweetwater Studios in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and so it's actually for me at least, because I wrote all the music, it's a really old album, and I just been sitting on it because I was going to college in Milwaukee. So I was well, I guess I'm a believer of timing is everything. So I just sat on it until I figured it was the right time. I graduated college, and I was all right, now we can do this full time. We're gonna make it happen. So yeah, I don't know if that answered your question or not.
We were just briefly mentioning, that song, what was it, Memories? That's done pretty well on YouTube. They got you some traction from people, right? They're oh, this song's pretty cool. It's pretty laid back. I just listened to it. It's pretty laid back, pretty chill. I like the vibes. Is that how you that song kind of helped you?
Oh yeah, that definitely helped. So I guess a continuation of it. Well, actually, that was the first song I ever wrote, ever. So I was 17, and yes, it's about a girl. All teenage songs are. So I just happened to hold on to that one for all these years, and then put it on the album, and that was the song that got the attention of the record label that we're on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it did pretty well on Facebook. I think we were at 98,000 streams or something like that. I'm not really sure. I don't, it was a while ago, but that definitely was the song that got the attention. And then it got us our audition for the record label. I think that was that same summer. Everything happened really quickly.
Right.
And it seemed like it was just going to take off, and then, COVID happened, and
mm-hmm.
It's really all about momentum and traction. And it's just we're just coming out of COVID now, so it's about building up that traction again, and
mm-hmm.
just hopefully, you can build up enough steam to make something happen again.
So who were the other members of the band?
As of right now, it's just me and Luke Baranth, a.k.a. the LA Viper. That's his stage name. We met in undergrad. at Milwaukee. We had a class together, and I told them this, and I also said this in a different interview last year. They were like, "So how'd you two meet each other? Like, did you guys know that you were going to be doing music together? Like, were you instantly friends?" And I was like, to be honest, this kid sat next to me, and I thought he looked like an active shooter, so I figured I'd try to be his friend, so that when everything came down to that day, I'd be okay.
That's crazy, man.
I told him that, and he, like, the first time he ever heard it was when we were on camera, and he's like, "Wait, are you serious right now?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, I thought you were an active shooter."
Oh man, it's nothing to be. That's a serious matter, but you know what I mean. It's a kind of a crazy story.
Yeah, it's like basically, I guess the way that you could frame that little story is that you never know who you're gonna meet, and I guess you should always try to be polite to everybody, because now I'm in a band with this kid, and I've been in a band with him for years.
Yeah. So, are you? So, what was your influences like musically? You grew up, obviously. You just talked about you're Wisconsin. So, I'm trying to think of. Is the grunge scene is the metal grunge scene popular out there?
I mean, yeah, there's like little pockets of metal around. There's pockets of rock music, but I mean, I'm trying to think about like how I would say what Wisconsin's like.
And country, right? That's my guess.
Yeah, I mean, country music is kind of always a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's kind of seasonal, though. It's kind of like a summer thing. And
What's your influences musically, like your personal favorites?
I mean, so growing up, I didn't know that there was anything other than country music. I'm also Mexican, so I didn't know anything other than Mexican music and country music.
Wait, so how did you get into the rock scene? This will be interesting.
Yeah. So one day, and keep in mind, like this is all like when I'm pretty young. So what was it? My mom brought home a DVD of Saturday Night Live's like greatest musical performances, and so I was watching it, and to me it was like revolutionary because I didn't know there was anything other than Mexican and country music. So the one performance that really stuck with me was Billy Joel's what was it? Only the Good Die Young. And I guess like that's like a form of rock and roll. Like it's kind of like lighter rock, but I don't know, I guess it just really resonated with me. So up until maybe 2013, so like I'm fairly like new to this whole thing, but up until like 2013, 2014, I listened to classic rock music, and it never really got heavier than like Guns N' Roses. So like that's not very heavy. Avenged Sevenfold came out with Hail to the King, and I don't know, that totally put me on a new path, and I started listening to like harder music, and yeah, so basically since 2014, I've been listening to like, you know, heavier rock music. Are you a big
Disturbed guy?
Yeah, I like Disturbed.
Yeah, I could actually tell some hints of Disturbed in your voice, actually.
Oh, that's a compliment, dude.
It's a huge compliment. I love Disturbed. What was it about, back to Avenged Sevenfold, what was it about them that, like, was there anything else about them that you were like, all right, I want to do what, because just listening to them and actually wanting to do what they do is a big step.
Yeah, well, I grew up taking music lessons, so I knew how to like play music, and I had always, I'd been playing guitar and learning how to play all that classic rock music, so it's not really too different. But what was it? I guess the thing that I really liked about A7X was that it was just like the songwriting, like it wasn't usual. It was itself. Like you know, like an Avenged Sevenfold song when you hear it. It does like all this quirky kind of stuff, and I don't know. I guess to me that just seemed cool. I wanted to try it out. Granted, like my music isn't like as extreme as that, but yeah. Also, M Shadows, his melody lines, the music is really good at creating tension and then releasing the tension.
So you started it. So how did you go upon getting people to join you? Was it just friends out of school?
Oh gosh. Okay, so what was it? The drummer was my brother. He's not in the band anymore, but he's my brother. He is my brother.
I'm about to say, I'm like, oh, is this taking a dark turn? Like,
oh yeah, no, he's my brother. And then I needed somebody, and I didn't really know anybody, so I go on Craigslist and I find some guy and who also like was friends with a bass player. So basically this band was formed off of Craigslist, and that bass player left and went on Craigslist and found another bass player, and he stuck around for a while, and then that guitarist left, and then I ended up bringing in Luke, LA Viper, from school, and then my brother left, and then we got a guy off Craigslist, and it's just been like, there's been I mean, I don't know. I guess if you think about it, the band's been around since like 2000. Gosh.
Hey, 2017 is what I read, but you would know. You're the guy.
Yeah, but you know, when you're doing it it seems like you've been doing it for a while. Kind of like track of time, but yeah, the band's gone through a lot of different lineup changes since 2017.
I feel like that happens a lot with these like bands. You know, some of these bands, they just go through reiterations. Like, you know, you can go on a laundry list of bands that I've just like the lead singer is the same, but everyone else around them is like, you know, ever changing. And sometimes that's good, you know, to get different styles.
Right. Well, you can see in our music videos that like every video has like a different person in it, and it's kind of funny.
It's kind of cool though at the same time. Like it just shows that you're like multifaceted. You know what I mean? Like
right. Well, I think that really speaks volumes to like the dedication. Well, I mean, I guess I'll just say my dedication because I'm the only original member. But you know, it says a lot to dedication to the craft because you know how easy it is to just stop when things aren't going in your way. Like, oh, we lost the drummer. All right, we got to replace them. We're not going to stop. You know. Mm-hmm.
So talk about this Danger Zone remake. Like, I guess not really a remake, but it's a cover, right? Why that song?
Oh, because I grew up on that movie, Top Gun, and yeah, I knew that they were coming out with the Top Gun 2, Maverick or whatever, and they keep postponing it, but it was supposed to come out in July, so that's why we released it on like the same day the movie's supposed to come out, and they postponed it for next summer. But that was a lot of fun, and that was really hard to sit on because we shot that in December, and it comes out in July, so it was hard. Like I just had to watch it on my phone every once in a while and be like, this is so cool, like I really want people to be able to see this, but you know, I think it was received pretty well.
How long was that in the works from start to finish?
Oh man, that came together in like a month. Like it doesn't really take too much time to throw stuff together.
You know, back in the day, there used to be, I mean, I guess people still do it now, where they used to basically make copies of CDs, but they used to, you know what I'm trying to say, like give copies of songs to people for like friends to listen to. How did you catch fire, like getting people to listen to it?
Oh man, well, I guess I kind of took a play out of Avenged Sevenfold's playbook because so essentially what I've been doing or what I did was you make it seem larger than life. So you don't like, what is it called? You don't put out content that makes you look anything that is not larger than life. So, and granted, like, you know, people got to work with budgets and everything, but like all of our music videos except for the last 2 have been made for free. Like, you can do this stuff. It's really paying attention to detail. And after a while, people start to take notice because the product's good. Mm-hmm. It's all about branding. I mean, sorry to like make it sound like it's all about like business and stuff, but it's all about branding.
Well, what you're going into, you know, you said you're going to be a lawyer, so you know all about business, you know, business sense.
I mean, I'm learning. I did my undergrad in advertising.
I'm going to guess the answer to this question, but you could talk about this cruel summer. Was that like the quarantine? I mean, it gave it away. So were you just bored sitting at home and you were like, all right, let me make this like cruel summer anthem or whatever?
Do you know about that song?
I just looked it up. Like,
oh, that's a cover from like the 80s.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's a cover. So it's from the movie Karate Kid, like the original.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's by Bananarama, and it doesn't sound anything like our version. We actually like made a rock version out of it.
Like put a little pizzazz to it because you were bored because of the quarantine?
Something like that. But then also I found out that Cobra Kai, like season 3 was coming out, and I was like, oh, we gotta do it. And so that took about a month. I mean, like, these things happen so quickly.
Yeah, it seems like it with you, man. And not just you, like everybody I've talked to lately. It's just like this, like things coming together real quick. And now with social media, like things can happen really quick overnight almost, it seems like.
Yeah, you gotta stay on top of it.
Like you still want to do a good mix of covers and original songs?
I mean, I was kind of always like against covers. Maybe that's just because like of where I grew up. Like I grew up where everybody was in a cover band. Mm-hmm. But I think when the pandemic started, I started seeing all these bands that I listened to, like these original bands, they were just doing covers all the time. And I was like, well, you know, maybe it's not such a bad thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, are you familiar with the band From Ashes to New?
Nah, I wish I could say I was. I know Asking Alexandria. I know that band that starts with an A. That's a great band, by the way.
Right. Yeah, different band, not quite the same.
So talk about growing up in Wisconsin, man. What was there to do up there?
What was there to started doing in Wisconsin growing up. I forgot what it's called, but basically you just drive everywhere. If you have a car, you just drive around. We have this town named Appleton, and the thing to do is you just get in a car and drive up and down College Avenue. That's literally all you do. Well, that's not all they do, but that's like, everybody's done that. Another thing is kids will I don't know what they do now, but when I was a kid, I say it like I'm so old. When I was a kid, kids would sit in the Walmart parking lot and just sit there for hours with music going, and they would tailgate basically in the Walmart parking lot.
Mm-hmm. You a big sports guy?
I mean, I appreciate sports. Yeah.
What's your team?
Well, if we're going for football, it's definitely got to be the Packers. You don't grow up that close to Green Bay and not be a Packers fan. Growing up, I really liked basketball, so I'm a big New York Knicks fan.
Oh, you're not Milwaukee Bucks?
I mean,
they just won the championship.
I know. I was at the game. I have 2 Bucks signed basketballs up there. I live in Milwaukee now.
Oh.
I definitely appreciate the Bucks, but I gotta stay true to the Knicks.
Oh, wow. And, this is going to be, I don't have a great following, but people are going to be like, this guy went to the Milwaukee, college in Milwaukee and is a Knicks fan?
Yeah, it was ever since I saw Space Jam, the original one. I will never watch the new one.
Oh,
so
LeBron.
Ever since I watched Space Jam, Patrick Ewing, I just thought he had a mean mug on him, and I was like, yeah.
I saw the video. You've been doing concerts in Illinois?
Yeah, we actually just had our first show in Illinois, and that was this summer, so it was pretty cool.
So, talk about how that all came together.
I mean, it was a bar, it's got a stage with lights on it. I guess it's somewhat of a club, but it was mostly a bar. What's the name of it? Whiskey's Roadhouse. Literally I wasn't really too sure what to expect. All I knew was that a lot of bands go through that place, and I was like, well, if everybody else is doing it, then why don't I do it? So I drove 5 hours to get there. We played this show. I'm always really sweaty after a show. That's great. You don't really see that in the video, but I could feel it. And then I spent the night at a friend's house who lives in Illinois, and then the next day I drove all the way back up to Appleton, which is basically Green Bay.
Mm-hmm. On Instagram, I saw Midwest. You put Midwest on the social media. You're proud of where you're from, but what's the idea behind that? Just saying Midwest. Is it just because you want to go throughout those states?
Well, the goal right now is to get down to Chicago. That's the goal, and I figure that's what is that? That's America's 3rd largest city or something like that in the Midwest. So I don't know. I guess there's also the thing of I'm from the Midwest. Everybody else says I'm from the East Coast, I'm from the West Coast, but I'm from the Midwest. We do things a little differently. And I don't know, I would say that we do. We got a different mentality.
Mm-hmm. I feel it's not blue, it's not super blue collar, but it is.
I think traditionally it's pretty blue collar. Mm-hmm. There's definitely places you can go where you'll get the blue collar. And when I was playing at that show in Illinois, I was I don't know, I just wanted to go out into the parking lot because you can learn a lot about people's cars.
Well, I noticed
it. Anybody ever told you that? But you can.
Mm-hmm.
You can just look at their car. Don't get caught looking in the windows or anything. You can tell a lot by a car.
Yeah.
And there was this big truck that was all rusted and everything, and it had the front license plate was a Confederate flag, and I was all right, that's where we are. We're all right,
Mm-hmm. You have any advice for people that want to start a band?
Start a band, man. I guess I would say you got to know that it's not gonna happen overnight. It's a lot of delayed gratification, and it's a lot of work. And that's not to say that if you work long and hard that it's gonna happen. But I'm a big advocate of timing is everything, and just be ready for when the moment presents itself, because nothing's gonna hurt more than the moment presents itself and you're not ready. So always be ready. Mm-hmm. Try to be ready for the next thing. Try to anticipate what's going to happen. Once you reach a certain level, everybody sounds good. It's just a given. So you have to be good at what you do, create good music. Mm-hmm. And there's the thing that pushes you over the edge, and I think that's just being ready and having all your stuff together.
I ask everybody, well, not everybody, I missed the last couple, but what's your thoughts on auto-tune?
So it's kind of an industry standard. When I listen to really old music before the assistance of autotune was really a thing. I am just in awe of it. It's like how, man, these people really could sing. I guess nowadays everything you hear on the radio is auto-tuned or melodined or whatever, and so there's really no getting away from it. But I don't think that the usage of auto-tune and pitch correction was not a result of artists wanting to use it. It's a result of listeners like basically requiring it, because if you don't sound spot on, if you're not absolutely perfect, then people are going to say that you're no good. So really the only reason that pitch correction is a thing is because listeners want it.
It's a good question I like to ask. So in 10 years, what do you see yourself doing with the musically in 10 years?
I never plan out 10 years. I only plan 5.
Let's say 5 years.
5 years. So I will have graduated law school by then, so I'll be out of school for like 2 years. I plan on making Scarlet a thing, like continuing it for up until then for sure. I guess I just see success. That's all I see.
Do you want to expand, or are you comfortable with where you're at and the band's at?
No, we're always looking to expand. We're always looking to grow. Let's see. Well, we did our show in Illinois, and that was the first time we ever played out of the state of Wisconsin. So I'm looking to not only be doing shows in Wisconsin, Illinois, or not even just the Midwest. Like I'm looking to go probably over to the Rust Belt a little bit, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Indiana. Just spreading the word.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely putting out more music. I've been writing a song recently, and you know how I told you I sit on everything. So I have all kinds of music that's just waiting. I'm just waiting.
When did you first know that you wanted to sing?
My mom started me in ear training classes before I can even remember. So it's been going on. Music has been a part of my life since forever. I started playing piano when I was like 4. Did that up until 6th grade. Then I started playing drums in there. And then I remember 8th grade is when I was like, I'm done playing the piano. Like, it doesn't get any spotlight. I want to play the guitar. I want to be like Slash. So I started playing guitar, and I never really wrote a song until I wrote Memories. And that's like a super simple song. It's only 3 chords, but I guess it was my first experimentation when it came to writing lyrics and putting them to music. That song
Fight This, I listened to that.
That was the first song I ever released as Scarlet, so that was a single. I wrote the lyrics on the way to the studio. Actually, I didn't know what I was gonna say. At that time I had hurt my back and I was gonna need surgery. So I was really, I guess, like, I was scared. Like, I didn't know what was gonna happen. Like, I didn't know if something bad was gonna happen during the surgery. Like, you hope nothing happens, but I was concerned. So I ended up writing this song about like fear. Basically, the message is that fear is the biggest thing that holds you back, really, and it's really just a fight against yourself. So you fight this ubiquitous fear that's all encompassing, and it just surrounds you. But it's holding you back, and you're going to benefit so much more if you just you
only live once, Zondo. You only live once.
Right, exactly.
That's what I try to do with this podcast. I mean, the downloads, they go up and down, but I like, it's just a hobby cast. You know what I mean? I like to interview people, and it's fun. All right, man. Well, where can people find your stuff, man?
You could head over to our Instagram page at Scarlet Official Band, and we got the link in our bio. It's got everything in there. So Spotify, Apple Music, we got our merch store, got our YouTube channel, our Facebook, everything's in there. Mm-hmm. It's probably the easiest way to get to everything.
What are your social media handles again?
At Scarlet Official Band.
Zondo, this has been fun, and we'll have to do this again sometime, okay?
All right, sounds good. I'm going to go eat something because you called me right when I was going to make some oatmeal in a mug, but right now it's just dry oatmeal, so I'm
okay.
trying to eat it a little bit.
Put some little extra into that oatmeal, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, man.
All right. Talk to you next time.
All right, later, man. There you go. Another one in the books. This week's trivia question was, in 2017, what pop singer released this album in which the album cover is UFO inspired? It was Kesha with her album Rainbow. And we have a winner. It's Fear Innes, host of the Horror Pit over there. And of course, can't forget Twat FM. Thanks again for your support. Check us out on Twitter at Cynical Sensibly Instagram, Sensibly Cynical Pod, and you can check out our Facebook group. Also, please subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes. Stay safe and take care.